The controversy surrounding Prince Andrew shows no sign of fading, and with each passing development, the situation seems to grow more complex and more damaging. What was once a distant scandal has now turned into a continuous series of setbacks, each one reinforcing the reality that his public image has been fundamentally altered. This latest chapter, unfolding quietly but significantly, once again ties back to his long-standing association with Jeffrey Epstein, a connection that continues to cast a long and unavoidable shadow over everything he does. This time, the focus has shifted closer to home, involving not just Andrew himself, but also his former wife, Sarah Ferguson. After months away from public view, Ferguson has reappeared, reportedly spotted leaving a luxury ski chalet in the Austrian Alps. It was her first public sighting in more than 200 days, a detail that immediately drew attention. But it wasn't just the reappearance that made headlines, it was the context surrounding it. There have been increasing calls for her to address questions from US authorities regarding her past associations, particularly in relation to Epstein. While she has remained largely silent, her sudden visibility has reignited public curiosity and speculation.
Our world-exclusive photos showed Prince Andrew's ex-wife looking stony-faced as she entered the luxury Alpine Wellness Centre. Fergie's been missing from the public eye for 213 days, ignoring mounting calls to face US lawmakers over links to Jeffrey Epstein. She went to ground the moment the Epstein files were unsealed, exposing damning emails between the pair. While she detoxes in the mountains, the world is still waiting for answers.
For both Andrew and Ferguson, the past few months have been marked by an unusual level of silence. Following the release of documents by the US Department of Justice, documents that reportedly included communications linked to Epstein, the pair largely disappeared from the public eye. Their withdrawal was noticeable, especially given their previous visibility within royal circles. Occasional appearances, such as attending the funeral of the Duchess of Kent, did little to shift attention away from the broader issues surrounding them. Instead, those rare moments only served as reminders of how much their roles and reputations have changed.
The Epstein scandal is once again rattling the British royal orbit, and now Sarah Ferguson is reportedly facing mounting pressure over whether to finally speak out. The former Duchess of York, once known for surviving scandal after scandal, is now being flooded with lucrative offers for a bombshell tell-all interview after her name resurfaced in connection with the Epstein files.
Meanwhile, Andrew's personal circumstances have undergone a dramatic transformation. Once firmly established as a senior member of the royal family, he has now lost not only his official duties, but also many of the privileges that once defined his position. His departure from Royal Lodge, a residence he had occupied for decades, marked a particularly symbolic turning point. Now living in a smaller home on the Sandringham estate, his situation reflects a clear and undeniable shift in status. While such a move might appear minor from the outside, within royal tradition, it represents a significant downgrade. At the same time, institutional pressure continues to build. The City of London Corporation has recently taken steps that further highlight Andrew's changing standing. Elected members have reportedly agreed to formally request that he give up his Freedom of the City honour, a title steeped in centuries of history and tradition. Originally granted through family lineage, this honour is not easily revoked. In fact, there is no straightforward legal mechanism to remove it in such cases. However, the very act of asking him to relinquish it carries strong symbolic weight, signaling that patience within certain institutions may be running out. This is not an isolated incident. In recent years, similar honours have already been withdrawn. The City of York, for example, took the unprecedented step of removing Andrew's title, something that had rarely, if ever, been done before. More recently, Ferguson herself faced the same outcome, with local officials voting unanimously to revoke her honour as well. These actions, while largely symbolic, collectively paint a picture of increasing distance between Andrew and the institutions that once supported him. Legal questions, too, remain part of the story. While Andrew has consistently denied wrongdoing, his name continues to appear in discussions linked to ongoing inquiries. Authorities, including the Crown Prosecution Service, have confirmed that they are offering guidance to police as investigations continue. These developments do not necessarily point to immediate legal conclusions, but they do indicate that the situation is far from resolved. The continued involvement of legal bodies ensures that the issue remains active, both publicly and behind the scenes. Beyond the legal and institutional aspects, there is also the question of public perception, and this may be the most difficult challenge of all. Reputation, once damaged, is not easily repaired, and in Andrew's case, each new headline seems to reinforce existing doubts, rather than dispel them. Even when developments are relatively minor, they are often interpreted through the lens of past controversies. This creates a cycle where moving forward becomes increasingly difficult, as every step is overshadowed by what came before. Beyond the legal and institutional dimensions, the question of public perception remains perhaps the most formidable challenge facing Prince Andrew. Reputation, once damaged, does not simply recover with time. It requires trust, consistency, and above all, a shift in narrative that is often difficult to achieve. In Andrew's case, however, the pattern has been quite the opposite. Each new headline, no matter how minor it may seem on its own, tends to reinforce existing doubts rather than dispel them. The lingering shadow of his past association with Jeffrey Epstein continues to shape how the public interprets every development. Even neutral or routine updates are filtered through that same lens, making it nearly impossible for the narrative to reset or move forward in a meaningful way. This creates a cycle where progress feels stalled, as every attempt to step ahead is inevitably pulled back by the weight of what came before. What makes this situation particularly striking is not just the controversy itself, but the way it continues to evolve over time. Rather than being defined by a single event, it has unfolded as a series of interconnected moments, each one adding depth and complexity to the overall story. Public appearances, institutional responses, legal discussions, and ongoing media coverage all intertwine, forming a narrative that remains constantly in motion. There is no clear endpoint, no definitive resolution, only a steady progression of developments that keep the story alive. And as each new chapter emerges, it not only reflects what has already happened, but also shapes expectations for what might come next, ensuring that the attention surrounding this issue remains firmly in place. So the real question now is not just what has happened, but what comes next. Will this ongoing pressure eventually settle, or will new developments continue to emerge? Because based on everything we are seeing so far, this story is far from over. And as it continues to unfold, it may reveal even more about the challenges of reputation, accountability, and life after royal privilege.